The WNBA wanted balance. They wanted multiple stars. They wanted a league where the spotlight didn't depend on one player carrying the entire business on her back. But the ratings are telling a completely different story. Because every single time Caitlin Clark appears on national television, the audience explodes. And every time she disappears from the screen, millions of viewers disappear with her. That is the uncomfortable reality surrounding the WNBA right now. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about television money, franchise value, sponsorships, ticket sales, and whether the league can actually survive long-term without one singular attraction pulling casual fans into the sport. For years, the WNBA struggled to break into the mainstream. Then Caitlin Clark arrived and suddenly arenas were sold out, sports debate shows were talking about women's basketball daily, and networks finally started treating the league like premium content. But now there's another problem emerging. The league appears terrified of becoming too dependent on one player. And historically, leagues have dealt with this fear before. The NBA had Michael Jordan. The PGA had Tiger Woods. The UFC had Conor McGregor. Every league eventually reaches a moment where one superstar becomes larger than the brand itself. The WNBA is now facing that exact moment with Caitlin Clark. And the ratings collapse without her is becoming impossible to ignore. The biggest warning sign came almost immediately after the season opener.
They are trying to diminish Caitlin Clark. Yesterday, and I wish I had saved this image because it's now been deleted. Yesterday, the WNBA sent out a tweet highlighting the 3 most watched games in league history. Unsurprisingly, the Indiana Felines and Caitlin Clark were a part of all 3 games. But the face of Caitlin Clark, it was only included once on the image.
The controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark's visibility isn't random. Fans are noticing a pattern. Every major promotional campaign now seems designed to spread attention equally across the league instead of centering the one player actually driving the audience. But television numbers don't care about marketing strategies. Television numbers only care about demand, and demand follows Caitlin Clark. That's why networks continue placing Indiana Fever games in premium broadcast windows. ABC, ESPN, and major sponsors know exactly where the audience is concentrated. This situation mirrors what happened to the NBA in the late 1980s. Before Michael Jordan exploded globally, the league struggled with consistency in ratings and national attention. But once Jordan became the face of basketball, the NBA leaned into it aggressively. They didn't hide him. They built the league around him. The WNBA appears to be attempting the opposite strategy. Instead of fully embracing Caitlin Clark as the centerpiece, there's a visible effort to manufacture multiple stars simultaneously. The problem is that star power cannot be forced. Fans decide who matters, not executives, not media campaigns, not league offices. And right now, casual sports fans are overwhelmingly choosing Caitlin Clark. That creates a dangerous imbalance because if the audience only tunes in for one player, the league becomes vulnerable anytime that player is injured, struggling, or unavailable. That fear is exactly why this conversation has become so intense, because the ratings gap is no longer subtle, it's massive. Then came the second major issue, health.
Caitlin Clark come nowhere close to matching her ratings. Last Saturday, Caitlin Clark drew 2.5 million viewers on ABC. Now, there's a little bit of a caveat here. These numbers are being boosted by Nielsen's new rating system. If ratings were being measured by the old system, Caitlin Clark actually drew 500,000 viewers less than her season opener last year against Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado.
This is where things become genuinely concerning for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is not just another rookie sensation anymore. She is the economic engine driving national attention toward the league. And when fans start hearing about back braces, bench cushions, nagging injuries, and physical exhaustion this early in the season, panic starts spreading fast. Especially after last season already pushed her to the limit physically. Historically, leagues become extremely protective of transformational athletes once they realize their true financial value. The NBA protected Jordan. The NFL protects Patrick Mahomes. The PGA practically rebuilt itself around Tiger Woods, because once a player becomes responsible for billions in visibility and revenue, that player essentially becomes infrastructure. And fans are beginning to feel like Caitlin Clark isn't being protected properly. That frustration is now extending toward the Indiana Fever organization itself.
We are barely a week into the regular season. Caitlin Clark already dealing with nagging injuries. Now you gotta remember, she already missed most of last season. She should have come into this season feeling fresh, but she is already wearing a back brace. She already needs boodle support cushions while sitting on the bench. To make matters worse, Caitlin Clark fans, they are turning against.
The psychology here matters. When fans believe a superstar is unsupported, resentment builds rapidly. Suddenly, every coaching decision becomes controversial. Every roster move becomes suspicious. Every loss becomes emotional. That's exactly what's happening around Stephanie White and the Fever. Whether fair or unfair, perception becomes reality in sports. And right now, many fans believe Caitlin Clark is carrying the pressure of an entire league while simultaneously fighting through physical wear and organizational instability. That creates a combustible environment. Because if Clark misses significant time again, the league's ratings problem immediately becomes a business crisis. Now comes the biggest issue of all, money.
The following game on ABC last Saturday between the Phoenix Masculines and the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces, 1.1 million viewers. In the span of a few minutes, almost 1.5 million people told the WNBA to get off my TV. It was even worse Monday night on USA Network.
That single ratings drop may be the most important statistic in the entire conversation, because it exposes the difference between curiosity and true star power. Millions tuned in for Caitlin Clark. Far fewer stayed afterward. That tells networks something incredibly important. The audience isn't attached to the league yet. They're attached to her, and that changes everything financially. The WNBA just entered a massive new media rights era worth billions. Expectations are dramatically higher than they were even 2 years ago. That means executives need sustainable ratings across multiple teams, multiple stars, and multiple seasons. But if Clark remains the only true national attraction, the league faces a terrifying long-term risk. Because one injury, one burnout situation, or one decline in popularity could dramatically reduce national interest. That's why the WNBA is desperately searching for additional stars. They're trying with A'ja Wilson. They're trying with Paige Buchers. And they're trying to create rivalry heat around Angel Reese. But sports history shows that authentic superstars cannot be manufactured artificially. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird changed the NBA because audiences emotionally connected to them. Tiger Woods transformed golf because casual fans were fascinated by him. Caitlin Clark appears to have triggered that same cultural crossover effect, and the numbers keep proving it over and over again. The uncomfortable truth is this: the WNBA may want equality in attention. But the market keeps choosing one face. That's why every Caitlin Clark broadcast feels enormous, and every non-Caitlin Clark game feels like a test the league is still struggling to pass. The WNBA is growing faster than ever before, but growth also creates pressure. And right now, the league is walking a dangerous line between building a sustainable future and overcomplicating the one formula that already works. Caitlin Clark has become more than a basketball player. She's become the center of the league's economic future. The question now is whether the WNBA fully embraces that reality or keeps trying to fight against what the audience has already decided. And that leads to the biggest question of all. If Caitlin Clark missed an entire season tomorrow, would the WNBA ratings survive?